Hello there, it's welcome back to the Waifus. I'm Sefe and we're going to be talking about Sakura, her skill set, if she's good or not, if you should pull for her or not, and a little pre-analysis. In case you didn't see her skills already, let's go over her skill set, what she can do first, and then we will be talking also about the pros and cons that she has. So obviously she's going to be a supporter. Being a burst 1 unit in NIKKE, it's always a bad sign because there are just two staples. You use Litter, you use Rapunzel when you need heals, and that's top tier of any burst 1 unit you will ever need. That doesn't mean every B1 unit that gets released is bad. It just means it's hard to find a place for them. For waifus and for collection, always. To actually be usable, that's a different story. So her normal attack, you know, it's a charge attack, obviously, 67% of attack damage. These are skills at level 10 also. So let's start with actually skill 1, Cherry Blossom Tea. Activates after 3 normal attacks, affect all allies. Cherry Blossom Tea, 8% defense, stacks up to 10 times and lasts for 15 seconds. This is her best skill, and this is the main reason you are going to be using her. You can start the combat, shoot 3 times on manual, fast, swap back to other unit, and the AI should be able to maintain those stacks during the whole fight, which is pretty good. This is probably going to be one of the biggest defense buffs in the game, which is pretty cool. And this again, it's going to be the main reason you are going to be using her, because the other two skills, and we'll talk about them now in a second, have a weird spot where right now they are not that usable, so maybe in the future they become more relevant. The second skill is going to be Falling Petals. This affects all allies when attacking an enemy projectile. Damage to the projectile increased by 7% permanently. Also activates when entering full burst. Affects all allies. Burst skill cooldown reduced by 4 seconds. Now the problem is you will probably not be using her burst skill. We'll see why in a second. But the cool part comes with the enemy projectile. Now it's cool because it's like, okay, if there's enemies where you need to break projectiles, this is going to be a unit you need on your team. The not so cool part is there are no enemies that have projectiles right now. The only one that I can think of, it's going to be Gatekeeper. Maybe they're going to be adding them Gatekeeper, one of the versions, to Union Raids, or maybe to the Special Interception, I don't know. But other than that boss, there are no real enemies that are throwing projectiles that are hard to break. Maybe on chapter 21 and 22 we start seeing them, or there's a new mechanic they're working on. That's one of the downsides to her. Maybe she's future-proof, maybe she's not, we know nothing. And then lastly, we have the burst skill, which is going to be Resplendent Cherry Blossom. Cooldown of 40 seconds, affect all allies, damage dealt by wind code enemies less than 90%, lasts for 30 seconds, activates only once per battle. Attack increases by 23% of caster's attack, lasts for 10 seconds, and also affects all allies if you have this buff stacked up to the maximum. Damage to interruption part increased by 23%, lasting for 30 seconds. Which is two parts of the skill, right? The first one, which is going to be affect to all allies. There's not that many wind type enemies right now that are hard to deal with. Well, there are some in Union Raids, there are some in co-op, but in co-op you don't care because co-op it's easy right now in the game. It's Modernia, and then we also have one of the Gatekeepers. Those are the two that I can think of right now. There's probably more. Let me know in the comments if you remember someone else on Union Raids maybe that is wind type, but it only activates once per battle. So unless you are saving this burst skill to time it perfectly to survive a white attack, which hopefully they don't add that shit to the story or anything, that doesn't have much use. And then also the damage to interruption parts, we go back to the other skill and it's exactly the same. It's nice that you can break red circles faster, but there are not that many enemies where we are having troubles with that. Gatekeeper is the one that has a crazy amount of red circles, and still it's co-op, so most people don't care and will break the white circles. So she's on a weird spot where you probably want Sakura as your main off-burst B1 unit instead of having her as your main bursting one. And honestly, that's it for her kit. I think she's on a weird spot. She seems nice, she doesn't seem too bad, but the problem comes with, unless they are planning on making that type of content, then she's going to be completely irrelevant. Because we all know this, but fighting for that burst 1 main spot, it's way too hard in this game. There are just units that are too good to be replaceable. Like most people are going to be using Litter, most people are going to be using Rapunzel, and then they might swap 1 or 2 depending on where they are. Not talking about PvP, just PvE. So yeah, let me know what you think about her kit. Let me know if it's if you're going to be pulling for her. I will be pulling, I will be pulling with the free tickets because I never have gems, obviously. If I get her, that's cool. If not, she will be added later to the normal recruitment banner, which is fine by me. Short video, don't want to make this any longer, so let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If it was useful, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and see you on the next one.